In this video, we will cover hazard communications, or HazCom. Millions of workers work with and are potentially exposed to one or more chemical hazards. There are approximately 650,000 existing chemical products and hundreds of new ones being introduced each year. A hazardous chemical is any chemical which is a physical or health hazard. Chemical hazard communication is one of the most frequently cited OSHA standards. Safety data sheets are prepared by chemical manufacturers or importers and are provided to the user free of cost. The safety data sheet must describe the physical hazards such as fire, explosions, and reactivity. It must describe health hazards such as signs of exposure. In addition, it must provide emergency and first aid procedures. Employers must have a written hazard communication program that describes how they will inform employees of the hazards of non-routine tasks, such as cleaning a box compactor. It must also inform the employees of the hazards associated with chemicals. This includes signs and routes of exposure, as well as precautions for safe handling and use. In addition, the safety data sheet must describe the precautions for safe handling and use, as well as first aid procedures. The safety data sheet must be in English and include the specific chemical identity and common names. The employer is responsible for identifying and listing hazardous chemicals in their workplace. The employer must implement a written HazCom program. They must communicate hazard information, health effects, exposure limits, and presence of known cancer-causing substances to employees through safety data sheets, labels, and formal training programs. The employer must certify that the employee understood the training. The safety data sheets must be readily accessible to employees at the work area. Training is required for employees who are exposed to hazardous chemicals in their work area at the time of initial assignment and whenever a new hazard is introduced into their work area. The employee is responsible for completing the required training, reading and understanding the safety data sheet, and following the requirements that apply to the hazardous chemicals. OSHA's Hazard Communication Standard is based on the concept that employees have both a need and a right to know the hazards and identities of the chemicals they are exposed to when working. Employees also need to know what protective measures are available to prevent adverse effects from occurring. Things to remember. 1. Employees have a right to know the hazards and identities of the chemicals they are exposed to in the workplace. Employees also need to know what protective measures are available to prevent adverse effects from occurring. 2. The written HazCom program is required because it ensures that all employers receive the information they need to inform and train their employees and provides necessary hazard information to employees. 3. Employers and employees have a responsibility to comply with the OSHA Hazard Communication Regulation. For information about OSHA hazard communication, you can visit osha.gov.